shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy we go, easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover, beyond gravel, beyond gold. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond gold. A bigger scale, the world inhales as we go. I wouldn't want it any other way.
You know, so I basically bring all my plants that need to be watered over here, and I don't do this every time. If I don't have time to spend a lot of time on watering, then I will just walk the watering can over to the plants and just give them enough water to kind of sustain throughout the week. But when I have time, I like to bring the plants over here to my counter. I like to look at them. I like to kind of inspect the leaves, see if I can see any bugs on them, see if the leaves need to be dusted. And as you can see, I kind of have like a little drying mat here. And as the water, stops draining out of the drainage holes, then I'll take them back to their spots. So I just kind of spend a little TLC on each plant. I look at the new growth, like this one here has got new growth, which I'm really excited about. And I'll just kind of, like I said, pay attention to the leaves, make sure there's no bugs or spider mites, dust on it, and I just take care of each plant individually.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go.
Okay, so moving on here to this next one. This is my gorgeous philodendron Birkin. If you watched my recent houseplant tour video, I believe it's in part 2. I did talk about this plant and how it had this odd leaf that had formed. When this unfurled, it was all a brown color, and I was a bit concerned. I'd never seen any of my leaves do that. But I have noticed lately, if you look close, it's this gorgeous deep green color. So it's changing from brown to green. So it's just this really cool looking leaf. I did have one of my viewers reach out to me and say that theirs also did the same thing. It's not a big deal. But yeah, it's just a little bit of a different looking leaf. Still super healthy. So this plant here needs to be watered. It is dry. And at this time, I also may choose to add a little bit of plant fertilizer. Right now I'm just using Miracle Grow, nothing crazy, but I have not fertilized this plant yet.
A bigger scale the world inhales as we go. I wouldn't want it any other way, no. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond low. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond low.
It's exciting. I'm still seeing new growth on this plant right here. If you look right there, there's a new one. So that one will start. That's, I believe, I don't think that's a new one. I think that's what that came out of. But I have recently turned this plant on the shelf to face this side to the sun, because as you can see, the back is not very full at all. It's all in the front, which I'm okay with, because most of the time this is all you'll ever really see, because it will sit on the shelf like this. But I decided I recently did want to kind of expose the sun to the back side of it, just so it can be a more full plant, because this is one of my favorites. It's just so gorgeous.
Hand in hand, building castles out of
So as you can see, I am a bit concerned about this plant. This is a plant, a white butterfly Syngonium. And I keep this in our bedroom. It's by a west-facing window. And I'm just not quite sure what to do with it. It is getting very top heavy, and I've noticed that the leaves, once they start to really droop and hang, it stresses them out and they die. And I have noticed some fungus gnats in here. Not a ton, just a few. But what I tend to doing is putting little shish kebab skewers in my plants, just in the soil. And then I lift my plants up with just a little bit of twine. So that is what I'm gonna do to this. And I'm also going to give this plant some fertilizer, some food, maybe to help make it a little stronger. Okay, let's go ahead and tie this to the skewer or the shish kebab stick. I tend to use what I have in my house instead of, buying only plant stuff. I try to use what is in my house, and these are here, so. Okay, so that has lifted that up a bit. I don't think this is drooping too bad. But you can see this plant is just not as full as it used to be, but there is a lot of new growth. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and fertilize this. Go ahead and put some Miracle-Gro food in there. And then today I may also add some worm castings to some of my plants. Always sad when you have to cut a leaf off. But that's the nature of the game. Hopefully I can keep this one alive. I'm hoping the worm castings and some food. So here is the brand that I use. It's earthworm castings. So that's worm poop, but you can add as much as you want. There's really, it's not gonna burn your plants out or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a handful, add it to the top. And then when I water throughout the weeks, that worm casting will go down into the soil. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water to the top of this, get those worm castings and that food helping it. And we will see if that helps it at all. Wish me luck on this one. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half, and these are all the plants that I am bottom watering. So I'm gonna go ahead and check these, make sure the soil's nice and moist on these. As you can see right now, this plant has already perked back up. So I'm really a big fan of bottom watering. I just really think it helps, and I think certain plants enjoy that type of watering. So I'm gonna go ahead and check these and see if they're ready to put back in their homes. So if you look, the soil's in the moist area, just from bottom watering this for a little over an hour. So I'll just go around and kind of check the moisture meter on most of these plants. They're probably all the same. So as you can see, they're all landing in the moist area. Come over to these bigger ones. That's the same with that. Here's my nerve plant. That's also, it's just barely, I might leave that one a little longer. So I think that these are good now. As you can see, that one's moist. So I'm gonna go ahead and move all of those except the nerve plant. I'll leave that a little longer, but these look great to me.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the
So these are the 3 that I'm gonna leave a little longer. They just didn't seem too moist. This is a polka dot plant, and this plant really loves to be bottom watered. And this is very finicky. I have to water this probably every 3 days, or it will droop and sag and look really sad. So I really try to make sure that I get this one watered quite often. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave these in the water maybe for another 30 minutes. And then I've got these just kind of sitting on this little dry mat. These are lifesavers when you have plants. I'll just let the bottom, make sure it's not dripping at all before I move them back in their pots, because you do not want water sitting in the bottom of a decorative pot. You know, you just don't want roots sitting in water that is existing in decorative pots. It's really bad for your plants. So I'm just gonna let these dry out for a minute and then I'll get them put away.